In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Misty jazz standard sheet music. It's Paul Tobey from jazzmental.com. When you approach a piece of sheet music like Misty, which is arguably one of the most popular standards written by Errol Garner, then you need to know that when you're tackling the lead sheet that most piano players have their own way of doing things, their own style, their own voicings, and that's really the goal. So the plan in this video is to play a little bit of the tune and then show you some of the voicings that I use so that you can add those to your playing. It doesn't mean that this is the absolute way to do it. It doesn't mean that these voicings are the be-all and the end-all of voicings for Misty. It just means that this is my approach to it. And when you look at the approach from several different piano players, you can start to create your own sound based on that approach. And I've got some really cool voicings to share with you. So let me play a little bit of the tune, and then we'll dive into it and start talking about it. All right, so like I said, the voicings are a little bit different than the standard voicings, and I've taken some liberties with the chords. The first thing that I want to approach is the very first chord, which you may have noticed is pretty non-traditional. So what I've done is I've put a D over E flat, and I've talked about this in other videos where you're taking a half step up from the chord of the moment. So the chord of the moment is E flat, half step up, D natural, and you're putting a triad on D and putting the root E flat in the bass. Now, if you played that chord a different way, like this, it sounds totally dissonant. But when you separate them, you get a really cool sound. And because the D is in the melody, which is the seventh of the E flat major seventh chord, it just starts sounding amazing. All right, so let's take a look at that E flat 13 chord. Now, I'll often do this with voicings where I'm taking the seventh, the flat 9, and the third, and the sixth. It's like a diminished chord at the bottom with the sixth of the chord on top. So, and then in the bass, I'm playing a minor second, which is the sixth at the bottom. It's kind of a cool sound. So let me write that out for you, which I think is a good idea. And the chord I'm talking about is E flat 13. And you've got C here, D flat, E natural, G, and C. Cool sound. So you might want to start incorporating that into your playing because I believe that can serve you well in many instances. So let's go from the beginning again. The other thing I'm doing there is while the right hand is going up, the bass is going down from C to B flat. Just kind of like separating the notes, one going up, one going down. It's a cool sound. So I need to explain what I'm doing there because that is something that more advanced players do, but I think you're ready for it. So let's take a look at the actual chord pattern, which is C down to the bottom note C. So it's basically following. So it's an E flat 6 chord, and it's just going from the 6th to the 6th. So let's write that out and let's take a look at what we're doing. And it's ending on the C natural. So what I'm doing there is I'm playing a triad in the top, which is an A flat triad. So A flat. And then like I did with the D triad over E flat, I'm doing the same thing with A flat, except I'm starting with the B flat in the bass. So it's A flat over B flat. And then the next chord, what I start to do is I play a triad down from the B flat, which is G flat triad, like this. And now I'm taking a half step up from G flat and putting a G in the bass. And then I'm doing the same thing on the next chord. I'm playing a triad here, which is E flat, and then half step up is D in the bass. So, and then the last one, I could do a B over C, but I'm going to start to resolve and do a B chord over D flat, or C sharp as it were. Okay, so just a B triad, B natural, and an F sharp at the bottom. And that goes over the D flat. And this is actually E flat over E. I apologize for that. So really cool sound. So the purpose of that is to follow the melody with different chords by following the same chord pattern. It's like an upper structure triad over the root note. So again, let's play it. Gives your playing a really neat sound. All right, let's go back to the tune. So you have to roll that D flat 13 chord, and it's really a D flat 13 with a sharp 11. So let's write that out because that's a voicing that can be used over and over again. So let's take a look at D flat, sharp 11 with a 13 as well. All right, so in the bass, you've got D flat at the bottom, A flat, yes, F, which is the third of the chord, and you have to roll that because it's very difficult for the left hand to play that 10th. Easy to play a 10th like that, but very difficult when the flat is in the 5th finger and the natural white key is in the 1st finger or thumb. So then in the right hand, what you're going to do is play an E flat triad on top here with a B natural here. The B natural is essentially the 7th of D flat. So you're covering, the triad is here. Sorry, not the triad, the tritone. Okay, so that's a neat sound. So often what I'll do is, instead of playing the C7, just go down by a half step to A, G flat minor. So kind of looking for that sound. and then play a B flat 7, flat 9 to get back to the beginning. Let's play it one more time. Okay, so I think many of those chords will serve you well. I'm going to post a link below to the actual lead sheet so you can download it and practice that. And if you have to go through this video a few times to kind of get those chords under your fingers and understand how they're developing, then take as long as it takes, because when you play solo piano over a song like Misty, you have to do it with a lot of notes, a lot of dissonance, and you have to make really great music with it. So have fun with it. If you have any questions about what I've done here, or you want me to elaborate on maybe some of the 2/5s or some of the chord voicings and dive a little bit deeper, all you have to do is ask in the comments below. Thank you. We'll see you in the next video.